There are certain types of horror that I happen to be fascinated by, from classic slashers to something more psychological. Yes, other than the Dream Demon himself. But the one that I happen to love the most is what used to happen in real life back in the past. They were TV hijackings, and it's because of these that we get ourselves a very special kind of category. Let's dive into that. Greetings, my horror enthusiasts. I go by the name of Rojo, your personal demon wolf horror educator. Yeah, I'm calling myself that from now on. So, I want you to imagine this. You're relaxing at home, watching a TV program of, let's say, the scenic view of Prague. Then, out of nowhere, a nuke blowing up in the middle of the fields. Pretty scary, right? Well, don't worry, that country didn't actually get attacked. That was an example of a TV hijacking incident. Back in the day when TV broadcasting was new at the time, it was most common for TV hijackings to occur, whether it was to spread a message or to creep out other people in that area. TV hijackings were always unexpected. You might be asking how these hijackings occur. Let me give you a rundown on broadcast signal intrusions. Broadcast signal intrusions is a hijacking of broadcast signals of radio, television stations, cable stations, broadcast feeds, even satellite signals. Oh my god. Hijacking incidents mostly occurred on local TV and radio stations, as well as cable and national networks. It is very illegal to commit hijackings. Committing these actions can land you in jail. Blah blah, yeah, you get the point. There are many examples of TV hijacking incidents, ranging from innocent ones like the Captain Midnight, the hijacker that protested the cost of subscription for HBO, back in the day at least, to more twisted and creepy ones like the Wyoming incident. Faces, cryptic messages, and a frequency level that got everyone sick out of their minds. Good thing I wasn't around at that time. Of course, some even involved adult pornographic scenes on children's shows to religious intrusions, getting others to do what Jesus does and all that. But we aren't going to talk about those, mostly because YouTube would not approve of that. Now, this is where I talk about the two hijacking events that occurred back then. The famous one, and what I think personally was the creepiest one. The most famous hijacking incident, obviously, was the Max Headroom incident. On November 22nd, 1987, two TV stations in Chicago had their broadcast signals hijacked by someone wearing a Max Headroom mask. With distorted audio and the person probably looking like he needs help, people in Chicago were freaked out about it. The most interesting part is that still to this day, from my own knowledge, the hijacker was never caught, so that case remains unsolved. Kinda reminds me of that Zodiac killer guy. The creepiest one that happened, in my opinion, was something that occurred a little more recently. It was known as the End of the World hijack. In Southern California in 2017, several hundred people got an emergency alert message describing the end of the world. Remember the time where there were predictions of a planet that would make a collision course on Earth? I think they called it Planet X? That's what the message was describing. Thankfully, all of those predictions were debunked, and there wasn't a planet on a collision course on Earth. So we get to live for another whatever years we have left on Earth. Nowadays, TV hijackings are way less common, and no, the nuke scare that happened in Hawaii doesn't count. But recently, the horror community has soon discovered a new category that was based on both TV hijackings and lost and found footage. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you analog horror. This stuff was scary when I first saw it. For those of you that have never heard of this special category, analog horror videos are described as found footage that were located pretty much anywhere in the world. It's basically if TV hijackings took a more dark, sinister turn, giving out gruesome information to creepy emergency alert system warnings to hypnotic experiments to showing scenes of the monsters or demons that appear throughout the series. Just like TV hijackings, there are many examples of analog horror. Each one of these videos give out their creativity when it comes to making these types of dark secret videos. The most common theme being a hijack from a community television program to a VHS tape on projects that take a more sinister turn in the end. Some examples would be Gemini Home Entertainment, which shows wood crawlers that infects and possesses people. Analog Archives explains where demons from a different universe try to open a portal into our world by hypnotizing humans to do their deeds and then kill any that see them. And I think there was also a cult involved. I don't really remember. The Minerva Alliance, where they showcase different anomalies that the world power government is trying to hide. Surreal broadcast, where three-eyed arachnid monsters induce fear and anxiety by producing a certain frequency while they hunt for humans in Berksod. And of course, there are many more examples for you to see. But we cannot forget the king of the category, the founding father of analog horror itself, or so I've been told. Local 58. Created by Chris Straw back in 2017, he has started what others in the horror community tried to replicate. If you were to ask anyone which channel got them into analog horror, most of them would say Local 58. Or at least that's what I would say. Imagine being in a universe where aliens try to trick humans into getting them to kill themselves or kill others by brainwashing them, making them think that faces don't exist, and then all of a sudden use the freaking moon to make humans go mad and submit to whatever race is invading the planet just by looking at it. Well, that's what I believe is happening. If this doesn't lead you to believe that anything in the world can kill you, I don't know what does. The most interesting part about it is that Chris will refuse to explain what's happening. That's what makes analog horror unique. The sheer mystery of what's happening, making viewers come up with amounts of conspiracy theories, trying to piece together a story that the creators will never explain to their audience, where the monsters come from and what they are trying to accomplish, which I'm pretty sure is wiping out all of humanity. But for what purpose, we don't know, and we most likely never will. Most of these videos have a creative way to get human beings all frightened up, getting them to submit by subliminal messages, hypnotizing them by using a certain frequency, even making the humans get fooled by making them believe the potential dangerous misinformation that these anomalies send out. Oh, and let's not forget the heroes of those series that try to save everyone from whatever monster threatens their town. And when it comes to these creatures not afraid to show themselves, that's the most terrifying part. Especially when an alien race that threatens humanity resides on our moon. These analog horror videos are still being made to this day, with many of them raising up a level on the scare factor, including ones based on the Five Nights at Freddy's tapes. Now you might be asking, well gee Mr. Demon Wolf sir, this sounds interesting, what should I start with? Well, I'm glad you asked. As I stated earlier in the video, those channels are great examples of analog horror. But if I were to choose one, I say start with Local 58. It was this channel that got me to know more about this category, and I figured it would be a good start for you too. Now, if you don't mind, I gotta see more of these hypno videos that people have been sending me for some reason. If you liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this one, and make sure that bell is on to know when I post more. When the next one will come up, I'm not sure. I don't really have a fixed schedule yet, but I'll make sure to stay active for as long as I can. Thanks for watching. As always, keep your fears and anxiety levels high. I'll see you very soon.